Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Alex, do you have any information about the Apostle Thomas?
Who? The Apostle
Thomas.
Thomas, the twin?
Thomas. The doubting guy.
No, not much, actually. Not much. I can see what I can come up with, but off the top of my head, I don't. That wasn't much of my focus. I don't even know. The issue is that most of the books in the Testament were written hundreds of years after Jesus was supposedly lived. The Vatican says that they only have scrolls and testaments from the 4th century. So that means now there's over 350 years of history that they don't have, that's supposedly lost, or was destroyed because it didn't fit their narrative. And you got to remember, the church is a government. It was first a government that then tried to become a church that then again became another government. Okay? Don't ever lose sight of that. It's very important to know. And governments are all about self-preservation. Self-preservation. So I don't know if any of the rest of that's even true. I honestly don't have an answer. I do, but I'm not going to say. I have my own opinions and feelings about that whole thing. But you need to discover that for yourself. Okay? You do. You need to figure that out for yourself. But let's just say hypothetically, it's all true. Whether he said it or not, the words were put in his mouth. These things I do, ye shall do greater, if ye have faith. That does not say I'm better. That says we're equal. What I can do, you can do. Figure it out. You are a spiritual being. You are a multidimensional being. Okay, your brain knows it. Your cells know it. We just got to get you to believe it. Okay?
what do you think of the object Oumuamua? That's it, Oumuamua, that visited our solar system last year.
I can't say it either.
He just wanted to hear me say it, try and say it. Yeah. Okay, so
I'll tell you what that sounded like.
Zoomed in,
that sounded like really
braked a bit, and then accelerated out.
That sounded like really good Scotch. Well, what's interesting is that
I wish
there are people saying that because of the energy field around our solar system, and I won't mention who he is, that nothing gets in, nothing gets out, which of course is absolutely ridiculous, because this thing got in, the planets, the moons that are here, they got in, the moons of Jupiter, they got in. It's just like, oops, there it is, So, I don't know what it is. And frankly, I could care less at this point. There are so many other things that are going on that are far more important. Now, if this thing suddenly were to turn and come and park itself over New York City, then it would have my attention. But that's not likely to happen. But the fact is that it came from outside the solar system, so it is possible for things to come in and pass through our solar system. If you research this yourself and you look at the data and you trust your gut, your own gut, that's what you got to go with, whether it's yay or it's nay. Okay, you have to do the research yourself and you have to listen to your own gut. I would always encourage that, no matter what, that's what you do. Okay, because positions of leadership are designed to empower. Your job is to empower others to become a leader, and to become a leader and to be independent and to stand on your own 2 feet and make decisions for yourself that you will own. That means listening to your gut, your inner voice. And once you get there and once you recognize the voice, it's very easy to allow it to lead you where you need to go, because it only has your best interest at heart, being your higher self. Go figure, right? So it's about listening to your own frequency. It's about getting that part of yourself. And I would always encourage any of you, all of you, to do that. This ain't about me. This is all about you. Okay? My job is to try to help you, empower you. If I don't do that, then I've screwed up. But that's what I'm trying to do. Okay? It would be really nice for some of you to be on this side doing this. I know you can do it. You're all smart enough. You all get it. Okay? It's about creating a race of leaders. The law of consistency. Creating a race of leaders. Okay, I'm rambling.
Alex, you mentioned that Morene said you could focus on the sun as a portal to help with meditation and out-of-body experience.
Yes.
By connecting with, let's go from the top of my screen, by connecting with something. Wait a minute. There we go. Hey, sorry, could you elaborate on this and how the approach of the brown star may affect this portal that the sun creates?
I don't have that piece. That's a really good question. Now, what's interesting is, what makes that an interesting question is that the sun's energy comes from a higher frequency, a higher dimension. This I know to be a fact. And I know what science says. But quantum physics says something completely different. And we are definitely in the realm of quantum physics. Make sure that what you're focusing on is the real sun and not the simulator that's up there. Now, as far as the brown dwarf, it's very difficult for us to see it because it's in the ultraviolet range. We won't see it until literally it's right on top of us. But I don't know how that's going to affect sun gazing, for lack of a better word. I simply don't know. That's a very good point. I would also ask you guys to think about the idea about the sun simulator. How the hell did it get up there? We certainly didn't blast it off into space and put it together up there. So for those of you who don't think that the space program is real, you might want to rethink that. Just by looking at the idea that, we have the dwarf star and the planets that come with it. We have the sun simulator, and then we have our sun. So if you had any doubts that maybe we have a secret space program, you might want to rethink that. And that would help you figure out how this thing got up there, because it's huge, it's massive. There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up today, and that is regarding Donald Trump. When he was over in France, he did not attend ceremonies at the cemetery. And of course, he's taking a lot of heat for that. Whatever your thoughts are on him, he has always, always, always been there for our guys in uniform. They needed anything. All they had to do was ask him, and he made it happen. And they went to him over and over and over again, especially during the Obama years, when Obama was doing everything he could to literally dismantle our military. And it doesn't matter whether you want to hear it or not. That is a fact. Trump was there to do it. He didn't go to the services at the cemetery because the Secret Service was given credible intel that there was going to be an assassination attempt on him at the cemetery. So the United States Secret Service gave him a no travel, and that's why he didn't go. You're never going to hear this from the media, but that is in fact a fact. Okay? It's just, mockingbirds. That's all they are. They're just mockingbirds.
Do you consider that some industrial leaders are going for respectively... I'll start again. Do you consider that some industrial leaders are going for respectively regressive or benevolent AIs that will plug into humans, i.e. Zuckerberg for regressives and Elon Musk for benevolence?
That's a very deep subject. I personally believe that until we truly know ourselves, our past, our present, our future, who we are, where we've come from, and everything else that's involved in all that we shouldn't screw with AI. because we're building something that mimics us. And we have issues. Okay? We have issues. Humanity has issues. And, you know, we operate on the premise of certain realities being absolute, when in fact they may not be absolute at all. And yet we're creating an intelligence to mimic that. I personally think it's a terrible idea. I do. I could see creating something to run a metal shop, to maybe run the maintenance of equipment, of a warehouse, an assembly line, something along those lines. I do not, however, think we should ever let something like this make decisions for us. If I'm wired for fifth density, sixth density, seventh density, I'm a hell of a lot smarter than this thing is. Okay? And I don't want it having control of me at all, or any part of my life. I just don't. And that's how I feel about it. It's exactly how I feel about it. We're building something based on our own models, based on ourselves. I think it's a terrible idea. It's going to have issues, just like we do. It's just going to be a mirror, except it's going to think a hell of a lot faster, maybe. I don't think it's a good idea.
Can you give us a brief history of the reptilians on Earth, the reptoids, and the relationship between them and the Alpha Draconis reptilians? Thank you.
Well, there is no short history. Now, I know in ancient lore and in many UFO circles, they say that the reptilians were indigenous to this planet. That is not what I've been told. I've been told that that's Bravo Sierra. That isn't true whatsoever. They all came from someplace else. Many reptilian races escaped the Draconian Empire itself, because they have this very, very strict caste system. And you have the royal lines, then you have the priesthood, and then you have the warrior class. And the warrior class, they're the grunts. They're like the Marines in our world. And they do all this, they basically do everything. And they're man, women, and children, or male, female, some are even androgynous. In order to flee that caste system, they escaped. They went AWOL, and they hid in other places and other moons that are dark. Some of them were actually part of the ancient Black League, which was a group of rebels fighting the Reptilian and Orion Empire. And they were very, very good because they knew the system. They knew how they worked, how they thought, and they were very, very effective at attacking supply lines and the such, like Star Wars. Many of them are still in hiding, and they're still scattered. There are some that are here. They didn't come on their own. They came on board other craft with other races, primarily during the Lemurian time and the Atlantean time. And they chose to stay, or they were left behind. And they went underground because they didn't want to be hunted. Mostly by their own kind, believe it or not. And then, of course, some of them did very, very horrible things to humans. And that created another fear and another reason to go deeper and deeper into the earth, so they wouldn't be hunted by their own kind and humans. So that's a short synopsis. On the website somewhere, I have that history. It's in some of the earlier lectures, papers. It's definitely in Defending Sacred Ground, which is free online. Those notes are in there if you want to know, so we don't take up time asking questions like that here. But it's all there. It's an interesting story. As above, so below. It's all of us, whether we realize it or not, has acquired quite the education incarnating here on Earth. We're going to be professors when we're done with this mission. We're all going to be professors. You will have earned your PhD for sure.
Why are we mind wiped lifetime after lifetime, and will this change ever?
Carol, that's a good question. I believe that's all been part of the processing to keep us stuck here on Earth and incarnating back into the system and using our light and using our intentional focus to create and manifest physicality to meet the ends of the controllers that were in control of this planet and or third density. I can only speak for myself, but had I been aware of all of my options when I cross over, had I been aware of my multidimensionality previous to this, the last 62,000 years I've been stuck on Earth, I'd be on a beach in another solar system. Yes, I would. Yeah. I'd be beaching it. I'd have been out of here. So I think at some point we will, all of us, all of the soul groups that are not only here on Earth, but maybe in other areas of third density in our galaxy and in our universe. I think we're going to have those answers. I think we're going to get that aha moment where we're going to understand that maybe it was all part of the plan. And there was some grand experiment going on, at least I hope so. But if you were going to wipe someone's mind, it was because you wanted to make sure you had control. It's pretty obvious to me. Because if you had someone who was self-empowered and they were truly with the program and they agreed with the program that was going on or going down, you wouldn't have to wipe their mind. Okay? You wouldn't have to. They'd be willing participants. But that's not what's happened here, is it?
Is the human preoccupation with sex for pleasure and pair bonding considered one of the reasons Earth has stayed at a lower vibration for so long from the Andromedan's perspective?
No. The answer to that is no. Their perspective is their perspective. Their decision as a soul group, as a race, to only partake of that interaction, that ritual of bonding for the creation of life, was a decision that they as a race made. Okay? That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. There are other races that I understand, both fourth and fifth, that experience sex for the pleasure of it. However, there is always a spiritual component to it. And they understand that when a man drops his seed into a woman, his DNA, her body absorbs the DNA. She is not the same woman or the same person. She takes on the man's DNA. And vice versa. I'm not going to get graphic here, obviously. Otherwise, we'll get an R rating on this one. But the commingling of our bodies changes both people. Not to mention the DNA factor, but also the energy. Okay, you're putting your energy, our energies, into each other. There needs to be a spiritual component to this. It shouldn't just be, and again, this is, my perspective being a vintage human being here. It shouldn't be just about the physical, because it's not. Okay, you give a part of yourself away every time you have intercourse. You do. It should be a sacred thing. It should be something you seriously think about when you engage in this. Okay, because you are a spiritual being, you are a multi-dimensional being that is connected to Source. Okay, you're a conduit. You're a conduit to all that is. And that deserves reverence. It do, and that's just how I see it. That's not to say you shouldn't enjoy sex. Just be intentional. Approach it, if you can, from a higher place than just your root. And that goes for both men and women. Okay? Because you give a part of yourself away. And that deserves recognition.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.